Alright guys, so the tip I have today is very specific, but something that can take your mapping to the next level, or at least make your work very easy, or easier, you know. So everybody knows that Doom Builder has the grid, you know, which is this thing. It's a cheese texture, yes. And also that the blue squares on the grid is where textures are aligned. So for example, I can put a gate texture here. It's gonna look aligned. And if I paste it on a different part, it's not gonna be aligned because the texture is aligned to the blue squares. As you can see, it doesn't move. But if I move the sector, the texture gets cut. All right. And also we have the grid size. So for example, I can have a 18, 128, or I can have 8 megapixels, you know, or I can have 1. I can even customize it, which is something that I not really usually do, but it's possible. But using these divisions of 1, 4, 8, 16, and so on is already very useful. But changing the grid size here is a little cumbersome, I would say. It's like it takes a while to travel from your map from here to here. Sometimes you just want to do something more snappy. And that's where my tip for today comes from. So I'm going to teach you how to change the shortcut for that. So you go into Tools, Preferences, or you press F5. You go into Controls, and you type Grid. Here in Edit, you're going to see Grid Decrease and Grid Increase. You're going to select Grid Decrease and use the command Ctrl-Shift Scroll Down. So when you hold Ctrl-Shift and you scroll down the mouse wheel, your grid is going to decrease. And for the opposite, for grid increase, you're going to use Ctrl-Shift Scroll Up. I already have them bound. You're going to bind them by selecting here in the drop-down menu. And the result is this. The result is that you can just hold Ctrl-Shift and scroll your mouse to change the grid size on the go, on the fly. It's very snappy, you know. So if I'm working with something and I want to make like a little nub here with a light, maybe I can use CO5 underline 2 and perhaps support 2, you know. And I want to make it 24 across, but I want it to be center. So I just did that by changing the grid size to 4, you know. I ask you to pardon me for the cheese textures. It's from a map that I have. But yeah, suppose I want to make a light here. Always forget the names. Should be light 5. It actually should be light 3, but it's 32, so I'm going to divide it here in the middle. And do this. And there I go. You know, I just made a light there. But if I were in grid size 8, things would be harder to do because of snapping to the grid. Of course, if you hold Shift, it doesn't snap anymore, so you can just draw free form, but it wouldn't be steady. Like, wouldn't be so steady as just having a grid size that's useful. And changing it on the go is a time saver. Okay, so I just wanted to share this tip with the mapper community, and I hope that it has a positive impact on your mapping speeds and skills. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you again in the next one.